So by you all looking at me, you wouldn't have thought that I am the black sheep of my family, or that I even felt like that I was the black sheep of my family, that I went through an abusive relationship. I only had an eighth grade education. I felt unwanted and unloved, and was the mother of four before I probably could even get a driver's license. Hi, I'm Kay Fox, but I'm known in Atlanta as Cream the Ice Princess, a rap recording artist. So basically, my husband is the CEO of New Style Records, New Style Entertainment. If you are in Atlanta or have been in Atlanta for a while and you heard the song, Do Your Dance on That, Do Your Dance on That, yeah, that's my husband. He and his business partner, JT, are the ones who brought out the artist who sung Do Your Dance. Anyway, my career was supposed to go behind theirs. It stalled for a little while because I went through a major depression, came back out, did a lot of commercials, start writing jingles for a lot of major companies and so on and so forth. Well, I wanted to get my career in my book writing up and going, so eventually I was blessed with an awesome book deal. The first book is called The Diary of a Trophy Wife. I want to introduce the book and bring over to this platform, bring it over to TikTok, but I had to make sure I got all my ducks in a row, that I built my audience and everything before I brought the book on. A lot of times, we hold grudges against our parents, not realizing that our parents are real people, not realizing that our parents have gone through things in life, and that by the time they become our mothers and fathers, they are not ready to become our mothers and fathers because they're not even ready to deal with their own real life issues. For many years, my mother and I had a very, very tumultuous relationship. She didn't know me as far as her daughter. I pretty much was like a sister or a cousin or something like that. But she and I didn't have a very close relationship. And so one day out of the blue, she and I had a conversation, and I was upset about something that one of my kids did. And then I had yelled at one of our children, and she told me not to do that, and that her parents didn't yell at her. So I asked her, if her parents was that nice to her, why did she feel the need to run away from home so much? And that's when she stopped for a second, and she was about to say something to defend what, the question that I asked her. And then she broke down crying. And then finally, when she looked at me and she started talking, she told me that the way I came to be here was through SA. Now, back then, and when they was young, young men didn't think they was doing anything wrong because they thought maybe if they wrestled a girl down, and back then they called it taking it. They just took it, and that was something they learned to, you just learn to deal with. Because honestly, on the man and the woman side, being essayed and being black wasn't something that was supposed to be a great concern. You didn't talk about it. You hid it up under the rug. You just didn't do anything about it. Nobody said anything about it because nobody wanted anybody to go to jail. And if they did go to jail, they blamed it on the woman. So for her, she kept it away from me for a long time. And she didn't tell me about this guy until I was about 14, 15 years old. Anyway, I don't hold anything against them because they both were young, although it wasn't right. But at the end of the day, I think he held some guilt inside of him as well. Well, my mom not only brought up the fact that she was essayed, she also told me about the abuse going on in her household, how she was beat by her uncle. Her brothers was beat on by her uncle. He was a police. And her father and her mother was afraid of her uncles. And they pretty much ransacked their home. And when my mother started talking to me, she balled up in like a cradle position as she was explaining to me all the hurt that she had gone through. I sat beside her with a chair and so did my daughters. I wasn't looking for closure because I had already given closure to myself. I didn't wait for somebody to give me the peace that I needed in order for me to go on and live a productive life. I was going to go on no matter what, because I realized that when a person have their ways about them, it doesn't have anything to do with me. I'm just so happened to be the one that was in the crosshairs. I was just so happened to be the one that became their victim. So if I wasn't their victim, somebody was going to be their victim, because that's what happens when a person has an inside that is shattered. So my mom shared me so many things that happened from her childhood. And I said, well, Mom, why didn't you tell me? Because back then, nobody cared. So, and if, my grandmother, I'm not going to say that she didn't care. She didn't know, really understand how to, because her mother didn't understand how to care about her, because her mother kicked her out of the house at 15 when she got pregnant and made her sleep on the playground at the schoolyard. So it's just a bunch of trauma that, was passed down. So I sat down and talked to my mom about it. And when I talked to her about it, and she told me that all these different things, and she would watch her brother, saw as her brother unalive somebody, on purpose. So, all of this stuff she was dealing with. And the funny thing is that a few years before our daughter was in college, she didn't know she was going to be a doctor. She didn't know what she was going to go through. And she told me, she said, I think your mom have DID. I said, what is that? She said she have a disorder that make her into more than one person. It's dissociative identity disorder. And I actually looked at my mom and I saw 3 to 4 different people come out at one time. And I watched this lady hurt. I watched her ache. And when I got my book deal, I could have wrote about anything. So I decided to write my book about my life. And I started it on how I thought. I was the black sheep of the family. I was unwanted. I was unloved, and all these different things. And then when I got down to the nitty gritty and got to her portion of what happened to me, I had to make it clear that there are a lot of parents that don't intend for their children to get hurt. But there are a lot of us that get hurt. A lot of us are broken, but a lot of our parents are shattered. And my mother was one of those people that was shattered. And I got broken because she was shattered. I was blessed to be able to God blessed me to put myself back together in one piece. But she had to collect herself bit by bit. When I wrote my book, I did not know it was going to cause a huge falling out in our family, but it did. And instead of my family members asking the people that caused me pain what happened, they came to me and blamed me for being the victim. Oh, this didn't happen. That wasn't true. That wasn't true. This didn't happen. It might have not have happened to you, but it happened to me. My feelings are valid. Whether you want to devalue them or not, I know what happened to me. I have nothing to gain by lying on anybody. So when I wrote my book, I put all the details in there of the things that happened in my life. And I had every right to. So my brother that is next to me, he don't speak to me. I really don't think it have anything to do with the book. I think it has everything to do with the fact that my brother wanted to be the only one in the family that is financially wealthy. And when God blessed my family to become graciously blessed, he had a problem with that. Because according to him, I wasn't supposed to have anything. According to a lot of people, when you are broke down as a person and don't have anything, how dare you grow up and make something of yourself? Let me know if you want to hear more, okay? But I have the book called The Diary of a Trophy Wife. I'm going to have it for sale on TikTok as soon as I can get all of the intricacies together, okay? And I'll let you know. Bye.